Hello, and welcome to another episode of We Hate Skill Windows, the podcast about hating skill windows where we don't actually hate on skill windows. This one does have skill windows. Have we hated one with skill windows yet? Oh, yeah, we Fated Villain got us, I think. But that one and the one in Soul of, wait, no, we didn't talk about Soul Station? What's it called? Seer of Soul Station? The Druid. Oh, yeah. No, we should. If you read the latest chapters of that one, it's going some weird places. Anyhow, this the Frosh is Chris, and I am Rye. And this week we are reviewing Villain to Kill. Villain to Kill, for the rough synopsis, is about Cassian, a guy who used to be a psyker, which is like the good people, the superheroes. Uh, but he gets betrayed by his organization. His like sworn brother gets killed, and then he dies. In death, he is respawned essentially, like reincarnated, but in present. So he's not reincarnated. So this isn't like regression or anything. He's just like, yeah, he just took over someone's body. Really, yeah, it's possession more so. Uh, I don't know. Have we the person who originally took over or was in that body is just dead, right? Pretty sure that's established. Like he's just dead. But weren't they like drowning in a toilet? Wait. Well, okay, so that's something I didn't understand. Is it that the kid was the worst villain? Or that Cassian reborn with the Shadow Power guy was supposed to be the worst villain? Because the Shadow Power guy said, "Oh, we're a catastrophic level villain," when he was showing himself off. But like, the kid died so easily. Surely surely a villain wouldn't die so easily, right? I feel, but I could be wrong about that. I feel like he died, right? Like the bully shoved his head into the toilet and was like, "Oh, he's dead. Oh shit, run." I don't know. But he yeah, so former hero turned villain. Now he wants to get revenge on the organization that screwed him over and took over everything else. Uh but yeah, it's uh it's a pretty good one. I I want to know more about the side characters than I want to know about Cassie, I'm not gonna lie. Uh he doesn't have a goal. His goal is to get stronger. Uh well, you see, he doesn't have to. He can consume crystals. That's his goal. Oh man, that's a low blow, Cassian. Come on, and nurture your Dantian so you can fight. So I can fight at the immortal realm. Yeah, you know how like after he fought Barracuda, it was like, so your like healing is S rank plus or whatever. Uh, yeah, why the fuck? Actually, why give him a skill note? He didn't have a skill note on his past life, did he? No, I heavily doubt it. Wait, do they? Wait, but no other villain has had a skill window. Pretty sure. They, well, they do, but is that just for the viewer? Right? Like that could just be for the viewer. I don't. No, well, so the heroes when they're introduced, they also have their ranks. Like the Fire Psyker guy, the new one, he's got like a rank. He was like A rank, but I don't know. Recently, in the like latest chapters, it seems like cool things are happening. Uh, who would have thought that that one sword character would turn out to be not exactly who they were? Wow, crazy! What a huge twist that we never saw coming. Um, yeah, I don't know. The world's interesting. It's like more so like a world like well, not that I've watched this show, but based on what I know about it, it's sort of like maybe like Amazon The Boys or something, where like heroes aren't the best people, or well, actually, is Cassian a good person? Was he a good person in his previous life, or was he just a shithead? I can't tell that either. Like, what if Cassian and Jeff or whatever his name was, his brother, what if they were like actually evil? What if the superheroes are actually like saving the world by killing them? And then Cassian reincarnates or like reboots himself and he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you all. What if he was actually the villain? I don't know if that's true. It would. And then we would have something like my life returning as a dungeon cleaner or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, the one where the main character really was just a piece of shit in his previous life. Yeah. Villain to Kill though is not like bad of a read. It's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of like uh it's predictable, you know? It's like really generically predictable. The plot's going in a order that you would see in like typical shonen anime, where the main character shows up, he's weak, he's regressed, he needs to train. And then you know like the necklace is like, oh, but you have to like learn new techniques, and then Cassian's like, what if I just do this thing, and then he gains a new skill. Yeah, no, I don't. Even if you're a genius, there's no way no one else has thought to do that. I feel like this is a dumb system. What were you gonna say earlier though? But he is doing something. He's training to get stronger. And then eventually, when he's strong enough, he'll train to get stronger. uh, it is. Listen, there. I've gotta have at least one of these episodes one day. Probably maybe like for a milestone or something way down the line. I'm gonna do a PowerPoint and we'll talk about the Infinite Goku, which is me trying to popularize an idea that I don't think exists yet. But listen, anyone who's out here reading Super Gene for some horrible reason, I'm sorry you've wasted so much of your life, but also that is the example of Infinite Goku. Main character that always gets stronger and at the same time is always the weakest character. But Villain to Kill, yeah, I don't know. It's like generic, it's sort of wholesome, oddly so. Driver's sort of cool. I really like Driver. I like the Crow lady too, she's cool. I want to see more of them, you know? I want to like see them fight. Driver, all he did was like unleash his limiter and do nothing. He unleashed his limiter, blasted Barracuda once, or did he even blast? He like threatened to blast, and then Lens Girl was like, "No, no, no, you can't do that. He's my client." What the fuck was that about? And then after that, he's like in withdrawal, and like he takes all the electronics away. Okay, I guess. And then we also saw that like Sun Guy unleashes limiter and then just get eat shit again. Which means either Cassian is just too OP by the standards of this villain level, or villains are just overestimating their level power. Or the author doesn't know how to explain S ranks and or just wants Cassian to be like SSS plus rank. Because there's no way S plus is like considered the top of a villain and Cassian's beating him that easily. I thought maybe? I'm not gonna go back and look. Hmm. Huh. Wait. But also wasn't the what rank was the boss sword guy? A? Or yeah. Hmm. Ah, well, we'll see that soon. Well, I don't really have anything to talk about for Villain and Kill, not gonna lie. Like the story is generic, the characters are likable, but like also not that interesting. The art is good. Like I don't know why, but I feel like it's like sort of middle of the road. Like, yeah, go ahead. It yeah. It's got nothing wrong with it. It's just got like it, he I that, but also like I this sounds so unhinged. Uh the main character is too like normal. Like he needs to be more like fucked up. In my opinion. You know how like you know, he's either gotta be like a battle fanatic like Suicidal Battle God, or he's gotta be like uh Druid of Soul Station or like Disaster Class Hero where he's just like unhinged. He's gonna be at least chaotic neutral. He's chaotic good, unfortunately. Uh he's a villain for fuck's sake. Show me him like beating up a kid for no reason. No, actually that'd be cruel. Uh you can go like kick a newspaper or something. Be mean. uh, I don't know. It feels like even though he's a villain, he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna be a hero. And then the necklace keeps going, but that's not what villains do. He's like, yes, but this is what Cassian does. Also, whenever I think of Cassian, I might be wrong, but I believe there was a Cassian in what was it called? Legend Chronicles of Narnia? Actually, no, not Chronicles of Narnia exactly, but there was like a spin-off. I don't know. I watched a bunch of like Narnia stuff as a kid, like movies. Uh, they had one where like the Narnia kids are out of Narnia and they're like sitting in their like relative's home, and then they look at a painting, and then all of a sudden they're like transported into the painting. If I recall correctly, there's a guy named Cassian, like Prince Cassian or something, and they have to like fight for him or against him. I don't remember. It was an interesting time. My parents were like, "This is like educational, right?" educational films. But yeah, I guess do you want to just rate it? I don't really have anything to say for it. Or do you have anything to gripe about? This is what the podcast is for. If you wish to complain about the skill windows, please go ahead. Tell us. You know, now more than ever, I want to like write a parody power fantasy where like the skill windows are like overwhelmingly stupid. Main character only uses them like twice to buy bread and water. Like just all the shit that we complained about previously with skill windows, but like compounded into one horrible, horrible thing. But yeah, I guess let's just go and rate it then. Fuck it. Art wise, only kill art. Oh, but yeah, it's not like top. It's not Redice. uh, it's like I. It's good, and it's got its own like uniqueness. You know, like it doesn't feel like they copied the art style from somewhere. It also doesn't feel like they like the art style just doesn't fit. Like for example, a few of the webcomics. Well, not to say that they like don't fit, but like you know how like in God, I'm already forgetting the name of it. What fuck, what was it called? What's the one where it was just like Mr. Punchy Fist Man? No. No, the one that we reviewed. The one where they parody it. Yeah. Like, you know how Super Evolution had an art style, but it felt like it was sort of ripped from like every other webcomic, maybe? Or, well, not like ripped, I guess. Like, just generic Chinese manhwa style. Yeah. Like, just like everyone feels this. Is that racist? All Asians look the same, even in webcomics. Uh, but I can say that, you know, I've got those funny little Asian eyes. Okay, let's stop canceling myself. So I would give the art a solid 7 out of 10. Because I feel like it's like not bad. It's just like not terribly. It's not like incredible. Yeah. What would you give it? All right, 8 it is. All right, story. Uh, I like the story. However, the story feels generic to me. Like nothing that's happened so far has felt outside of like my expectations. Like even the like succession war thing with what is it Mugen? Was that the yeah? Like all that stuff, it's predictable. Who would have thought an elder of the family, of someone who is in a weak and vulnerable position, would want to take over the family? Who would have fucking thought? And oh no, they're colluding with someone in the government, in the psychers. Oh no, or like, well, with like the main corporation or whatever. I don't understand that one either. How's the villain like in charge of like food? Or what's his Monkey King? Monkey. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. The story has like yet to surprise me so far. I don't think that's a bad thing. But it does not feel terribly like interesting either. Because personally for me, like reading this sort of stuff, I want to like see interesting things happen. So that's why like Morning Torn Newbie really like that because it every chapter almost it's like, hey, we're gonna go and do this stupid off the cuff like dumb thing that shouldn't make sense, and then it works. But like I don't know, it's like doing that makes it more interesting because you can't predict it, maybe? I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It feels like generic. It feels generic, but the art and the characters are cool. It's sort of like if you took like a shell of a story, right? Like, oh, the main character was once a former hero, one of the best, and then he was betrayed by his comrades and killed. He wakes up in the body of the person of the thing he hates the most, a villain. And now he must live a double life. Like, it's so awfully generic. I feel like I've read so many with like similar plotline. I've definitely read a lot with like the plotline of I was betrayed by my closest comrade. Now I'm born in the body of someone with no power, and I have to train from scratch again. But don't worry, I'll be the world's strongest puncher one day. Like, I'm not saying they're bad. They're just sort of generic, and there's a lot of them that are generic that I still read and I still follow some of them, not all of them. Dropped a few of them because they got really boring. But like, I don't. It doesn't have to be original. It really doesn't have to be original. Like Disaster Class Hero, Tutorial Tower, Druid of Soul Station, they're basically all the same thing. But I don't know. Like in Disaster Class, it's just because the main character is like so fucked up. Like he's just willing to like beat up people because he does not give a shit. Like that makes it cool, but I guess that's on the characters because the plot's still pretty generic. Hmm. Maybe I shouldn't shit on that story too much. Does it need to be original? Is anything original? The answer to that is probably no. If I know anything about how people take ideas from their environment and from what they read, it means nothing is truly original. We'll give the story. Oh wait, yeah. Hate? Oh, you hate it when they take the entire structure of the world. One day, monsters arrived from portals in the sky, or like the one where it was like, but one day monsters appeared from holes in the ground, and they tried to make it slightly different. Oh yeah, one day things appeared all over the world. They were called A-class dungeons and separated by rank. And in dungeons there are monsters, and those who hunt the monsters are called hunters. Yeah, those. Or like, oh, and I've regressed in time, and uh, there's people that watch us. They're called constellations. They're called star signs. They're called gods, and the god has gifted me coins. Yeah, I hate those too. Because it's just a fucking blatant. Like, besides Omniscient Reader, no one was doing that shit. You know? Like, I'm pretty sure not a single other one was doing that until Omniscient Reader blew up. I I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could just be that, like, maybe Omniscient Reader wasn't unique to it, but I don't remember another one. Like, maybe anime? If there were any anime that, like, had gods watching a character, sort of like Danmachi, I guess? Maybe? But, like, not really, right? Like, there wasn't one where. I feel like that's gotta be the case. Like, I feel like there wasn't one before that where it was like, these, like, all these, like, deities are just, like, basically gambling and looking at people, and then they get, like, gift coin. At least, at the very least, like, I don't think there was one where they egregiously gifted coins like this, besides, like, maybe the Hunger Games, but then it's not gods. Uh, Maybe they copied from the Hunger Games, I don't know. But, the story, well, it's still interesting. Yeah, I hesitate to say it's bad. It's not bad. It's just generic. But how? I don't know. It's like, yeah, like have you ever wanted to watch a? Well, yes, probably. Uh, I'll say my example here. Have you ever wanted to go and watch a movie and you go and you pay $10 to watch Thor: Love and Thunder, and then you go watch the movie and you realize that you sat through the 2 hours and you could predict every single plot line because it's fucking generic? That's what this is. Now, the difference is that Thor: Love and Thunder was bad. It was badly generic, but this one is like goodly generic. It'll get an 8. All that for an 8. It's your turn. Oh, we flip flopped. I give art a 7, you give art an 8. I give story 8, you give it 7. It's gonna be a pretty. I've definitely thought it was. I will still argue that there's a few things you shouldn't do as artists. Like, one of them is just like patchwork art styles. Like if you're gonna draw something, and this is what stops me from drawing shit, by the way, is that I don't really know how to draw like backgrounds to stuff. I could probably draw like a character in a scene, but like to consistently do that and to do that for like fight scenes and all that, I don't think I can. I'd probably have to like try to do the things that we've noticed in other places where it's like, well, yeah, sort of. They either like filter a picture, like a real life image, and mind you, even popular things like Not Even Bones would do such a thing. Was that what it was called? I feel like it was popular. It was like based on a book, yeah? It was like based on a book series that someone wrote in IRL. Well, not IRL, but is it still going? I thought it went on a hiatus for a while. That's probably why it's like down there. Hmm. You ever still wait for Killstagram to come back? Yeah, me neither. That's just a dig at Killstagram. Listen, it wasn't good. it was. It had really good faces. It had the best, like, if you want to, like, send a stupid but horrifying image to a friend, it's got ammo for that. But, like, anything else, it was just. Like the first like 10 chapters were like the best thing that it ever had going for it, and then when the mystery unraveled it just got worse. No, and then we have like the Stockholm ending and it was just I but hey, it might come back with season 2 and we'll get to see some other horrible thing happen. Oh yes, not to touch upon too many other webcomics that we could or could not review. They're not power fantasy. Did you ever read Gremory Land? It was like a Western made one, or at least it looked Western, like more like comic American comic style. About like kids who enter like a living theme park essentially. And it was like, like a take on like typical horror stories, like American thrillers, slasher films, where like for some reason they all split up and like all die. And then they get back and they group up and then they're like, well, shit, I'll hold off this one person, everyone else run, or some stupid shit like that. Yeah. But it had like a pretty interesting plot line and really nice art. Uh But yeah, characters. I like Cassian. He's funny. He's not very interesting so far. He's just sort of like. Also, I feel like so the villains are like in like a in agreement with the heroes for the most part for Vill zones. And then there's just like the outliers, like the clown guy and the bomb guy, who are like, well, shit, I don't want to suppress my desires anymore. I'll go and kill people. Like, that's how it sort of feels. So it's like regulated. It's not like truly villains are evil, villains are horrible. Because, like, Driver's just a nice guy, I feel. I've never seen anything from Driver where he would be mean. He's just such a chill, nice guy. Yeah, and so is Barracuda. Barracuda's so cute. No. What the fuck was Barracuda's power anyway? What's his power? Like, to generate spikes from his back? Like, I don't understand. He, like, was S-class, but he was so shit. Well, yeah, because he had weapons, right? Uh, Yeah, maybe I'm just judgmental. I was like, Barracuda, your power is to, like, generate like linear directional spikes from your body, like on like a like you're playing Binding of Isaac, but you're only firing in the four cardinal directions. Like, I feel like it was just like a shit superpower, or well, villain power, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. The characters are cool. I like that the like three weakest guys from the Gundam when Bill's owner are like, ah yes, please train me, make me stronger. I like that. It's nice. Character development after so much time. But yeah, skill windows aside, pretty solid. I like the characters. I like the characters. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'll give it an 8. Can't go too high with it. It's not like super blown out of the water, not gonna lie. I still think it's awfully generic, but hmm. I like the side characters more, I think. Yeah. I'm more invested in Driver and the Crow Lady and like all the other I I just want to see the fire guy, the new fire guy like do shit. I don't really like Cassian's interesting, but he's also like he's just here to like beat up the villain and progress the story, right? He's like the main character in an RPG. Like you would use him to clear story content because he's required for the mission, but like you're like just do side quests. Doesn't matter. He he's not doing anything. And like you said earlier, he's not like researching how to like kill his comrades or former comrades or anything. He's just training. He spends all of his time training and eating crystals, or I think he stopped eating crystals now. But yeah, it's gonna end like this, huh? Well, shit. uh, so we've got math. How do I do math again? Hold on. Let's open a Google. So we got 7.5 across all things. So isn't that just 7.5? Sure made that one easy on us. Okay. Alright. This feels about right, yeah. God damn. Now I sort of feel like I should rate like the one. If we ever review Solo Leveling, I'm gonna try my best not to give it a 10 out of 10 out of 10. Actually, should I? I should. I should because you're gonna beat it to the ground. Okay. I we're only at 34 minutes, so I think we have time to discuss this real fast. what's the main thing that pissed you off at for Solo Leveling? Like, what's the main thing that disappointed you or like you didn't like? I just want to know. But you liked Cassian. But we gave Villain a kill a 7.5, so it's at least gonna get a 7.5, right? What do you mean? Wait, he. Well, okay. I do understand that part. Like, Solo Leveling only has like two interesting characters, human characters, and the main character and his love interest. Everyone else is like, I guess if you care about the lives of the Shadow Soldiers, like there's no one else that's terribly interesting. His like sidekick's useless. Uh, and then yeah, he does train a lot, but like I don't know. I still feel like it was better done in the web novel and not the web comic. So like the web comic, I feel like just sort of as web comics do, they speed it up and everything. But in the web novel, there's that one moment where the association president is attacked and then is like bleeding out when I forgot his character. What's his name? Jinwoo, Sun something. I think that's right. Uh, Something like that. I don't know. When he shows up and like saves or well, like doesn't really save the president because the president's dying, but he like tries to help him. I don't actually remember it being terribly impactful in the manhwa, but in pure like writing, it was very like I don't know. I felt emotions. Like the main thing for me is I Solo Leveling and Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. I both read it first before. Well, I read it first because there was not enough chapters for. Well, no, I read them first because I read them first. Hold on, I didn't even know Solo Leveling had a webtoon for a while. Not gonna lie, I just read them first. It was during my point where I was reading, because it started with kill that witch, burn that witch, release that witch. Release that. That's what it's called. Yeah, kill that witch. Yeah, I started with release that witch because I think I saw like an ad for it at some point, um, on like a novel update website or something, or maybe it had like a webcomic, but it was like really shit or like just very little chapters. Often I find myself, if I like something enough, I'll be like, well, I like the like webtoon. There's probably a novel associated with it, so I'll just read the novel instead. And that's how you get like super far ahead, and that's how you read elitization for SAO in like fifth in like middle school, and then wait like 8 years for it to come out IRL. But um, yeah, I feel like solo leveling is at least a solid 8 out of 10. Thoughts? Or would you put it lower? Wait, wait, really? Wait, wait, but Biru, the Ant King. He watches K dramas. He's cute. He calls the main character my liege. It's very like funny. Okay, maybe you're not deriving the same pleasure from watching the ant be stupid than I am. I don't know. I feel like it was like that. Once again, we're going back to this, and I swear to God, it's not me just trying to like pad time or something. I just want to like explain this because this is like a similar thing in Villain to Kill, at least. Like I feel like it was, well, no. So okay, I can't discount that. You've got me there. I can't say anything about that. He was definitely too strong to beat, to like lose, even to like the S class heroes that he hunters that he knew or fought against. And were they? Yeah, there was a point though where like his allies didn't know what power level he really was at, and he didn't know what power level he was at. They'd like go into like a dungeon. They'd be like, "No, you can't beat that," and then his shadow soldiers would just like bum rush the king and kill it. And then at some point, if you, I don't know if you recall exactly this happening, but at some point he just starts sending like his shadow soldiers into a dungeon to clear it, and be like, "Okay, so like this dungeon will just have 3 shadow soldiers in it. I won't even go in. I'll go and clear something else by myself." That's cool. I feel like it was interesting, but then he's just playing like an RTS by himself, sort of, or with the help of many people. He's playing Civ, isn't he? Essentially. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, Villain to Kill, pretty good. Pretty. It's a good solid read. I don't know. When will we find something that's like on par with Lazy Lord? You think? Hmm. Wait, what'd you say? You mean to say Lazy Lord isn't the crown jewel, the pinnacle of webtoons? It probably is, actually. Oh, it's a medium-sized fish in a medium-sized pond. I I do feel like it would be hard to find anything better than it. Like Omniscient Reader, I feel like is on par at least, and Solo Leveling is not as good as Omniscient Reader in my opinion. But that's also just because I really enjoyed Omniscient Reader's world building setup more than Solo Leveling. Because Solo Leveling is sort of generic in that way, in that it's fairly predictable. But I did not predict what happened in Omniscient Reader, which makes me intrigued. Uh, and then we loop back and talk about how Denma did the same thing, but I don't think you're ever going to read Denma, so we're not going to go down that. It was so good though. Every chapter was like 6 panels. It's so readable, so digestible. Just had like 1,200 chapters. You just had to make it through them all. So easy. It's like One Piece. But uh, what did I recommend this one or did you recommend this one? I forgot. Uh, you want to delve into trash then? Do I recommend trash? Let's take a look at what I can recommend here. I can send us into Doctor Player. It was so bad. I don't like that one. I've dropped it so far. That's the one where I sent you. I think I sent it to you a while back. It's like the main character's like some guy in like a magic world, but he receives a skill window one day and he's leveled up to become like a doctor of the physician of like modern society world. It's like Doctor's Rebirth, but he didn't reborn. He just like got skills from somewhere. Yeah, it's not the best. Oh, we could really die. I could send this to Your Talent Is Mine. Have you read Your Talent Is Mine? Well, for good reason. Your Talent is Mine is probably the worst out of the worst I have read. It has such an uninteresting world and such a shit main character. It's Chinese, of course. Not to get your expectations going anywhere. And he's just like, I think it's Chinese. It's either Chinese or Korean, but it feels Chinese. And by feels Chinese, it means the art is super generic feeling, and the main character is like edgy AF and like really shit. Yeah, I feel like it was Chinese. Hold on, let's see if they give it away in the first chapter at all. Yep, 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 yep. They have cultivation talents. I You want to review it? We could have a grand old time reviewing genuine shit. Yeah, you know what? I'll send it off there if you're fine with it. It's got 46 chapters. Wonderful. Your talent is mine. Talent is mine. The color for this is gonna be the color of sad red because it is sad and depressing red. Your talent is mine. Next week we will be back reviewing Your Talent is Mine. Yeah, this one's bad. This one's like genuinely bad. I I cannot explain to you how weakly original this one is. But they tried to like make it original. So he can't steal people's talent, I believe. He can like copy their talent level, which doesn't make sense. You'll see as we go on, and we can explain why this one's probably worse than Super Evolution in the later bit. But well, that's probably the end of this one unless you wanna do you have any closing thoughts on like Villain to Kill before we end off? Yeah, read it. Read it because it's very rare that you'll see such good shit on the market. In the cloud of trash that is webcomics and webtoons, or well, Power Fantasy at least, Villain to Kill is definitely a gem. It's one of the few. So definitely would recommend giving it a read. Alrighty, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.